Hello, my name is Derek Baxter. I'm an app developer out of Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada, and today I'm going to show you how to make a really quick user action that when you touch the screen, the plane, in this case, will have force applied to it and the plane will start to fly. If only it were that easy in real life. Alright, so let's get right into it. So today I'm going to use Sprite Builder, and I have a plain graphic here, a bluebomber.png that I simply downloaded off the internet. And I'm going to go and drag that to the Sprite Builder screen. Also, what I want to do is to go into our third tab here, our objects, and drag a color node here. This color node will serve as the ground. So there we go. I'm just going to change the color of that to something more realistic of the ground, maybe a dark color like that. There we go. There's our ground. And the third thing that I need to drag is a physics node, so it has to have some sort of gravity in there. So here's our physics node. There we go. And for the doc root var, I'm going to put in SIC's physics node. There we go. So now it's a physics node. And I'm going to drag the plane as well as the ground into the physics node. Here we go. So now in that physics node, there's the color node, which is the ground. I'll just call it ground. And the blue bomber. So in the ground, I'm going to enable physics. I'm going to make it static because we don't want the ground all of a sudden getting sucked in by gravity. But what we do want affected by gravity is the airplane. So I'm going to go into my third tab here. I'm going to enable physics on the airplane. And I'm going to call this plane on the second tab in the doc root var. And just so I know what it is, I'm going to call it plane as well for the CC node. Okay, so that's everything that we should need to do in Sprite Builder. I'm just going to click build. And I'm going to open it up in Xcode. So I'll open up Xcode here. Here's our main scene.m. And the first thing we want to do, of course, is identify which. So CC physics node, and I called it underscore physics node. And I also added the CC sprite of the, I think I called it plane. There we go. Good. So now what I want to do is just add the void did load from CCB. There we go. And I'm going to set the self user action enabled, set that to true. There we go. So now user action is enabled, and then void. So I'm going to use the touch began. There's different kinds of touches that you could detect for. So in this case, it's touch began, and when the touch began is detected, we're going to apply a direction and a force to our airplane, the airplane physics body. So CG point. There, oops. So we defined the launch direction, which is up on the y-axis, 50, and the force, which is 200. And we're going to set the plane physics body, apply force of the force. There we go. So if I typed everything correctly, I click play. Build and run. Now if I touch the screen, you can see that the airplane is starting to rise. And of course the airplane crashes at some point. So the next step I could do is I could create an interaction with the ground where the airplane lands on the ground, perhaps crashes on the ground, and we can enable some type of explosion, and the explosion we could use is all within Spritebuilder. Well, thank you very much for watching this tutorial, and happy gaming!